We're live from the Sullivan Center on the campus of the University of St. Francis here in Joliet, Illinois, set for CCAC basketball. The Fighting Saints of St. Francis take on the Roosevelt Lakers in a mid-season matchup. Saints come in on a 6-game winning streak, ranked number 8 in the country. Terry Bonadonna with you for today's broadcast as St. Francis takes the court in their gold uniforms. They're going from right to left in the first half. The Lakers are in green. They're going from left to right, but they backpedal to start as the tip is won by the Saints, and we're underway. Jordan Pyle in possession of the basketball for St. Francis. She's joined in the front court today by Shadreen McDaniel and Caitlin Alward, and Alward draws the foul in the first 13 seconds. She's going to the free throw line. Good first possession for the Saints as the foul is committed by Ashley Smolt. Caitlin Alward, a good free throw shooter on the season. She has hit on 77% of her shots, and she makes the first one here tonight, so we've got our first points of the ball game. 1-0 St. Francis, who came in with a 14-3 record, 9-0 in conference, as Alward settles for 1 out of the 2. Roosevelt is 3-14 overall, 2-7 in conference play. Up off the glass and in. A bank shot from Sierra Huddleston, and Roosevelt responds very quickly with their first point. 2-1 Lakers. Paige Gieske is in possession. Leah Sims, the final member of the starting lineup that I hadn't mentioned yet, as that one's deflected out of bounds. For Roosevelt, the starters include guards Tania White, Jay-Cherie Cheers, Lindsey Cox, and Ashley Smolt. And their forward is Sierra Huddleston, who we saw score on her first possession. Jordan Pyle set to inbound. Finds Caitlin Alward. Jordan Pyle left all alone for 3, and she hits it. She was left open, and she made Roosevelt pay for leaving her that way. Jump shot for Smolt does not go. Rebound by Paige Gieske. So the Saints can build a multi-possession lead for the first time. Alward fires it inside for Gieske. Good ball movement. Out to Jordan Pyle. The three-pointer misses from the opposite end. She hit one from the right side just a few moments ago. This time comes up empty from the left. Roosevelt comes away with the rebound. They've got possession with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Smolt passes it to her left. This is Jay-Cherie Cheers on the runner. Misses. Rebound tipped around and into the hands of Sierra Huddleston. The Lakers reset. Drive from Smolt. She pulls up and hits from about 9 feet out. We're tied at 4. Second chance points there for the Lakers as the Saints were unable to secure the rebound. Jordan Pyle swung around to the right side. Leah Sims. Gieske, top of the key, picked up there by Lindsey Cox. Gieske puts it on the floor, gets into the lane, fakes the pass inside, kicks it out instead. Now down low to Alward. 8 to shoot. Alward is stripped out of bounds. Last touched by Roosevelt. 7 on the shot clock. Saints will keep possession of the ball. Jordan Pyle is the inbounder. Looking for Caitlin Alward underneath the basket. She's double teamed. Finds Shadreen McDaniel instead. On the turnaround, no from short range, and a loose ball foul is called on Shadreen McDaniel, battling with Jay-Cherie Cheers for the rebound. First foul called on McDaniel. It's the first foul against St. Francis, and it brings in our first substitute on Roosevelt's side. Jordan Fierst checks in. Sierra Huddleston checks out. Roosevelt trying to recapture the lead here as Alward comes out trying to take the ball away from Smolt. Misses on it. Pass off to the left side, and the three-pointer misses from Jay-Cherie Cheers. Out of bounds on the rebound. Back to St. Francis. Little full-court pressure from Jay-Cherie Cheers, but Alward is able to find her safety valve, the sophomore forward Jordan Pyle. Pyle dribbles off to the left side, passes back to her right, Caitlin Alward. Well outside the three-point line is Shadreen McDaniel with half the shot clock eaten out. McDaniel dribbles once, picks it up, finds an open Jordan Pyle on the left wing. On the drive, she misses. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Alward. Pyle had an open look from the three-point range. We've already seen her take a pair of threes today. This time she passed on the open shot, drove instead, and had a pretty good look from only about 6 feet out. But she was not able to connect. So we're still tied at 4, nearly 3 minutes into the game. It's Roosevelt's basketball, and currently in the hands of Lindsey Cox. Cox throws down low, looking for Tania White, but it's picked off. Leah Sims comes away with the loose ball after, I believe, Alward initially deflected it. Jordan Pyle wings it across to Alward. Here's a drive into the lane, spins to the basket, lays it in. Kaylin Alward's got 3 points, averaged about 28 points per game over 3 games last week. She was named the National Player of the Week for her efforts. Entered play today, 5th in the nation in scoring. She's got 3 already in this game, but we're tied at 6 as Jay-Cherie Cheers knocks down the runner. Good one off the glass for Cheers. Tied once again. 6-6 very early as Jordan Pyle dribbles it towards the top and rolls around to the right wing. She picks up her dribble, lobs it down low, looking for Caitlin Alward, but she overshot her. So it's a turnover as the pass from Jordan Pyle went out of bounds. Roosevelt possession. They can take the lead here. New ball handler for the Lakers is number 2, McQuaisha Riddle. Riddle crosses over to the right side, kicks it out to Jay-Cherie Cheers. Now to the left side, Ashley Smolt drives, lays it up, and gets the roll. Smolt cuts from the left side across to the right and is able to kiss it off the glass and into the bucket for her second field goal of the game. Roosevelt's back on top. Good start today for the Lakers. Jordan Pyle weaves her way inside, and Pyle lays it in from the left. Back and forth we go. We've been tied at 4, 6, and now 8 points here in the first quarter. Saints would like to make this one a bit of a run. They need a defensive stop first, and they're able to get it. Jordan Fierce left all alone for a wide open 3. She missed it. It looked like the Saints had the rebound, but a loose ball foul is called on Shadrian McDaniel, and that's already McDaniel's second foul, so that's a costly one. It costs the Fighting Saints a possession, as it did appear as though they had secured that rebound. And it also cost them one of their starters for the foreseeable future. With 5:23 to play in the first quarter, McDaniel already on the bench with 2 fouls. Here's Riddle on the drive. Runs right into Jordan Pyle, has to kick it outside. Lindsey Cox, the leading scorer this season for the Lakers. Along the baseline, reverse layup, got it. Good drive from Lindsey Cox. Cox has her first 2, entered play today, averaging just over 20 points per game, albeit in only 12 games played. Leah Sims backs up. Fires towards the left, looking for Paige Gieske. Cox jumped in the way, deflected the ball out of bounds, and a foul is called on Paige Gieske. Or did Gieske just touch it last? Yeah, no foul on Gieske. My mistake there. It's just an out-of-bounds play, but Gieske was the last one to touch it, so it's Roosevelt basketball. And we've got a tie-up. Possession arrow faces Roosevelt. Riddle drove into traffic. Too much traffic. Baseline out of bounds. It is Roosevelt basketball. Riddle is the trigger man. Up top to Ashley Smolt. Smolt crosses over, drives the lane, kicks it outside. Here comes Tania White. White runs into Andriana Acosta to kick it outside. Smolt jumper does not get the bounce. Rebounded by Caitlin Alward. Saints trail early here. They could tie or take the lead back, though, on this first quarter possession. Leah Sims along the right wing, bounces it out of bounds. She was looking for Acosta. 2 players not on the same page that time, Sims and Acosta. And it's another turnover committed by St. Francis. Now Roosevelt trying to work quickly. Riddle's pass is deflected. Acosta picks up the loose ball. Acosta slows things down. Good job by Riddle in transition defense. Saints run the half-court game as Acosta bounces it to the cutting Pyle. Back out to Alward. Long 3 misses. Rebound to Ashley Smolt. And now the Lakers have numbers. 3-on-2. Smolt kicks it outside. Drive and a short jumper from Jay-Cherie Cheers. Came off the front of the rim. The Saints dodge a bullet. Now Acosta misses on the shot, but she's fouled by Riddle, and she's going to the free throw line to try to earn a tie score.
Foul called at number 2.
First foul against Maquasia Riddle. It's the second foul on the team. And Adriana Acosta is at the free throw line. She makes them both, will be tied at 10, but she does not make them both. She misses the first. Acosta this season, 83% foul shooter. She makes 1 of 2. Saints are within 1. 3:33 on the first quarter clock. Riddle given some space by Sims. Kicks it outside to White. White finds Lindsay Cox for 3. That's short. Rebound tapped out to Riddle. Stays with the Lakers. Deflected by Jordan Pyle. Ball loose. Kicked out to White. White flips it over to her left. Cheers takes the 3. No good. Rebounded by Pyle. Lakers had a couple of opportunities on that trip down the floor. Didn't make the most of them. Here's Elwood on the drive. Yes, and a foul. Kaylin Elwood is keeping this team afloat right now as the Saints struggle both offensively and defensively here in the first quarter. Elwood, though, is up to 5 points, looking for number 6 right here. She's got it. Kaylin Elwood and Jordan Pyle have scored all but one of St. Francis's points in this first period. 2 leading scorers on the season. They average a combined 27.5 points per game. They've got 11 so far today. Step back jumper from Cheers misses short, rebounded by Pyle. Lakers have not turned the ball over much early on in this one. They are not shooting the ball well, though. Elwood, one-on-one in the post, bounces to Acosta, and she finishes with the layup. St. Francis has their biggest lead so far at 14-10 as Acosta finishes off a good feed from Elwood, and now a foul from Paige Gieske. Jaysherie Cheers made the drive, and Cheers was apparently hit on the arm by Paige Gieske. First foul on Gieske. It's the team's 3rd, and it sends Jaysherie Cheers to the free throw line. Cheers just a 44% free throw shooter and a lot of attempts. It's her 65th foul shot of the year, and she misses it. Allie Hernandez is in for Leah Sims as the Saints bring on a couple of reserves. 3 starters remain in. Cheers makes the second free throw to make it 14-11. Ariana Moore is into the contest for Roosevelt, and another sub for St. Francis as Kaylin C.S. Cheney strolls in late for Paige Gieske. Allie Hernandez unpressured in the backcourt. Takes a pleasant jaunt across half court. Bounced over to Acosta. She walks it up towards the top of the key. Well covered. Inside, Acosta from Elwood. No on the layup, and a loose ball foul called on Acosta. I think a frustration foul right there. A perfect feed from Elwood. And Acosta had a good chance cutting towards the hoop, but missed on the layup. And then just got a little wild with the arms, going for that rebound after her own miss. So it's the 4th team foul, and now a turnover from Roosevelt. Ashley Smolt was looking for Ariana Moore. Moore was looking to set a screen, and the ball went out of bounds. Saints ball up by 3. Final 2 minutes of the first. There's Acosta in the post. Fadeaway jumper from the baseline is good. Pretty move down low by Adriana Acosta. Now she's got 5. 3 Saints already have 5 points. Acosta, Elwood, and Jordan Pyle. The bigs getting the job done today for St. Francis. A foul is called on Caitlin Elwood, sending Sierra Huddleston to the free throw line. Elwood states her case. She was straight up. I think the call is that maybe she got over a little bit late and got Huddleston with the body. So Sierra Huddleston has 2 shots from the line and misses on the first. Not a good free throw shooting team, Roosevelt. As a unit, they're at just 57% this season. Today they are 2 of 4 As Huddleston makes the second free throw. 4-point game with 1.5 minutes to play in the first. Ali Hernandez walks it to the left, dribbles back to the right side and bounces to Jordan Pyle. Pyle lobs it down low for Alward. One dribble up, yes, and one.
Count the basket for Caitlin Alward. Assist.
8 points for Caitlin Alward. A good pass from Jordan Pyle as Alward was being fronted. Pyle was able to lob it in a little bit too far underneath the basket, but Alward was able to stretch, pull it down, and hit the shot. She misses on the free throw, though. Just 1 of 3 so far this evening from the line. That's been the one flaw in Alward's game so far today. She does lead all scorers with 8 points. And here's Andriana Acosta picking up her second foul. Lindsey Cox is going to the free throw line.
Number 21.
It's the second foul on Acosta. She came in for Shadrian McDaniel after McDaniel picked up her second foul. So already 2 Fighting Saints are in foul trouble. We're only in the first quarter, 1:11 on the clock. And Paige Gieske, after a very quick rest, is back on the floor. McDaniel's been sitting already for about 4 minutes, and now Acosta will join her on the sideline probably for, if not the rest of the first half, then most of it. Cox makes the first free throw. Mentioned that Roosevelt is not a good free throw shooting team. That does not apply to Lindsey Cox. 75%. One of 2 players with free throw percentages above 70 on the team. She hits both on this trip. It's back to a 4-point game. Here comes Ali Hernandez. Jordan Pyle, right side, into the corner for Gieske. Poked out of the hands of Gieske and taken away. Quick hands of Huddleston forced the turnover, but it's Tania White who will get credit for the steal. White lobs it down low, and Jay-Cherie Cheers is there for the layup. Roosevelt has come up big on back-to-back possessions, and now it's Kaylin C.S. Cheney for St. Francis. Out to Ali Hernandez. Left-handed shooter knocks down the 3. Second three-pointer made by St. Francis today. 20th made 3 this year for Ali Hernandez. She's only hit 2 from inside the arc. Had a turnover, a sloppy turnover committed by Roosevelt. It was Jay-Cherie Cheers just not understanding where she was on the floor. She caught a clean pass right to her, uncovered, but she was standing on the sideline. So St. Francis gets a chance to take the last possession of the first quarter. They lead by 5. Shot clock is off. Kaylin C.S. Cheney over to the midcourt circle. C.S. Cheney with 8 seconds starts to go. Cross over to the left. C.S. Cheney gets inside, scoops it up and in. At the buzzer from half court, just a little bit short from Aquacia Riddle. And we're done with the first quarter. 23-16 St. Francis. Great play by Kaylin C.S. Cheney to close it out and finish that first quarter on a high note for St. Francis as they got off to a slow start. Got going as we went along, though. Big offensive output for the Saints in the first. 3 more quarters of basketball still to come. You're watching CCAC Hoops, St. Francis and Roosevelt on the USF Sports Network. After one quarter here at St. Francis, our score is 23-16 in favor of the home team. The Fighting Saints have won 6 consecutive games overall. Goes back to their 3-game road trip, which began on December 14th after a blowout loss here at home against Lewis University on December 12th. Lewis, of course, NCAA Division II school. So if we're just counting NAIA play, Fighting Saints have won 12 consecutive games, trying to make it 13 in a row today. They're ranked in the top 10 in the country and are one of 2 unbeaten teams in the CCAC, St. Xavier being the other. And if you're wondering when those 2 teams match up, it's not until the final game of the season, February 19th. So a very strong possibility they will not both be undefeated when they see each other, but that's well over a month away. Saints still focused on the task at hand right here. Slow start against Roosevelt, but they got going late in the first quarter. And now they're going to try to keep that hot streak going into the start of the second period as Kaylin Elwood receives the pass inside from Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Misses from close range, gets her own rebound, and kicks it back outside. Allie Hernandez for 3. Good. 2 for 2 from 3-point range for Allie Hernandez. And the Saints have their biggest lead of the night. It's up to 10 points. And it'll stay that way as Riddle misses on the runner. Elwood lobbed ahead for C.S. Cheney. Layup, no. Rebound by Jordan Pyle, tipped out to herself. Saints get another chance here. Missed on the break, but now they'll get an opportunity running the half-court game. Pyle inside to Elwood. Double teamed and knocked away. Good quick hands on defense from Tania White. Here's Maquasia Riddle. Yes, and a foul. Maquasia Riddle did not slow this game down, even with a couple of defenders getting back into position for St. Francis. She took it right into Kaylin C.S. Cheney and ended up drawing the foul. First foul on C.S. Cheney, first on the Saints here in this second quarter. Riddle makes it a 3-point play. 1 minute exactly gone in the second quarter as Roosevelt puts on the press. Saints beat it. Paige Gieske across half court. Gieske no points yet today, leading the charge on offense now though. Gives it up to Jordan Pyle. Back into Gieske against a double team. She kicks it outside. C.S. Cheney fakes left, drives right, passes into the corner. Gieske misses on the 3. C.S. Cheney rebound. Right back to Gieske, who's cutting to the hoop. Well defended by Roosevelt. Kaylin Elwood passes outside, and Allie Hernandez resets things. C.S. Cheney with 7 to shoot. Outside, Gieske from the left, fake, loses the ball, gets it back with 3 seconds on the shot clock. C.S. Cheney fights one up, misses, gets a piece of the rim though, and now the ball's loose on the floor, and it is a tie-up, and we're going to go the other way with it. Good battle for the basketball right there. Kaylin C.S. Cheney threw up a desperation shot. It just skimmed the front end of the rim in what otherwise would have been a shot clock violation. Good defense there from Roosevelt. They were able to hold the Saints off the scoreboard following 45 seconds of the Saints' possession. They had gotten a couple of shots up, were able to come away with offensive rebounds. Now the officials are discussing something, I'm not sure what, but whatever it is settled because we're back underway. Nick Cladis, Ken Faulkner, and Rob Munson are the officials in today's game. Jordan Pyle deflects the pass, but right over to Tania White. Still in Roosevelt possession with 16 to shoot. Smolt picks it up at the free throw line. Passed out to White. White tries to drive, kicks it outside instead. Cheers back to White. Her three-pointer is blocked by Pyle, but it's secured by Roosevelt again. 2 on the shot clock. Drive from Cheers, rolls it off the back iron. No offensive rebound up and in from Sierra Huddleston. Persistence from Roosevelt on that possession finally got them 2 points. Now Gieske drives, stripped by Cheers. Gets it back and outside. Allie Hernandez. Over to Jordan Pyle to a cutting Elwood. Layup, no. Perfect setup. Elwood just couldn't quite finish. Good pass and a wide open layup. But Roosevelt comes up with a stop and Smolt hits on the jumper. It's a 7-0 run for the Lakers, and they've cut a 26-16 deficit down to 26-23. A 3-point game with 7 minutes to play in the second quarter. Elwood sizes it up for 3, well short. Elwood all of a sudden struggling with her shot after She was knocking down everything in the first quarter. She's got 8 points in the game. Here's Jay-Cherie Cheers. Cheers passes to her left. Drive from Moore, kicked outside and out of bounds. A lot of contact in the lane on Ariana Moore's drive, but the freshman does not get a call. Saints take possession following the turnover. And a substitute, couple of substitutes for both sides. Leah Sims is in for the Saints, and Lacey Gardner as well. Caitlin Elward and Kaylin C.S. Cheney sit down. Jordan Fierst is back in for Roosevelt. Lindsay Cox back in the game as well. Here's Jordan Pyle. Kicked out to Lacey Gardner. First action for Gardner today. Leah Sims spins into the lane, kicks it back outside. Gardner for three. A little bit long. Rebound deflected towards the sideline, out of bounds. Last touch by Paige Gieske. Allie Hernandez hit a three-pointer for the Saints on their first possession in the second quarter. St. Francis has not scored since. They've seen the Lakers of Roosevelt score 7 consecutive points. And it's just a 3-point deficit for the Lakers with the basketball. McQuaisha Riddle dribbles to the right. Passes in and out of the hands of Cox. Lindsay Cox tracks it down, keeps it in possession. And a traveling violation is called on Jay-Cherie Cheers. Cheers got the pass from Cox. Took a quick stutter step before putting the ball on the ground. And it's a turnover for Roosevelt. Under 6 minutes to play in the first half. Saints lead is just 3. Leah Sims spins around Cheers, gets to the lane and misses on the runner. Rebound secured by Jordan Fierst. Another empty possession for St. Francis. Roosevelt could potentially tie the score on this possession. They go for 2 instead. Off the backboard, no good from Ashley Smolt. And Allie Hernandez is taking it the other way. Jordan Pyle up top to Lacey Gardner. Gardner passes right. This is Leah Sims around a screen from Gardner. Now back to Gardner on the right side, just inside the three-point arc. Kicked up to the top of the key. Allie Hernandez to Jordan Pyle. Left side, drives, misses on the runner, off the glass. Came up a little bit short. Rebounded by the Lakers. Saints still have just 1 field goal in the second quarter. Drive down the baseline. Runner misses from Cox, and Allie Hernandez comes away with the rebound. Saints defense has stepped up the last few minutes, but they haven't scored in close to 5 minutes now. Lob down low for Gardner, and Gardner was held by Jordan Fierst. A foul is called on Roosevelt. And finally, we have a break in the action. It's been a while since a whistle. Jordan Pyle checks out for St. Francis. Justine Charlesworth makes her first appearance of the night. Saints lead by 3 with the ball inbounding from the baseline underneath the Roosevelt basket. Charlesworth trying to get the ball in, finally finds Leah Sims. Sims over to Allie Hernandez. Up top, Lacey Gardner. Caitlin Elward remains on the bench for the Fighting Saints. Can they find scoring from the supporting cast here with her out? So far the answer has been no. Gardner misses on the turnaround from about 5 feet out, gets her own rebound, and kicks it over to Leah Sims. St. Francis resets with a fresh 20 on the shot clock, now down to 13. It's Leah Sims looking inside for Gardner. It's kicked out of bounds by Lindsay Cox. It stays with the Saints. Tania White back in for Roosevelt. Lindsay Cox grabs the seat. And Caitlin Elward returns to action in favor of, or in place of, Lacey Gardner, I should say. Elward has 8 points so far tonight on the season, averaging about 20 points per game, nearly a third of her team's average output. And they did not score over the couple of minutes that she was out. Now she gets the pass inside, fights it up against the double team, and misses too short off the backboard. Rebounded by Roosevelt. Still just a 3-point game. Neither side has scored now in roughly 3 minutes. For the Saints, we're closing in on 6 minutes without a point. Corner three-pointer misses from Tania White. Rebound tapped by Gieske over to Caitlin Elward. One and done that time for Roosevelt. Their drought remains. Leah Sims over to Caitlin Elward, top of the key. And we've got a whistle and a foul away from the ball. Allie Hernandez lying on the floor. Hernandez was fouled cutting across the lane. And the foul is going to go against Tania White. That's White's second foul. And it's only the second on the team with 3:45 to play in the quarter. Leah Sims tries to get it in. Pass deflected out of bounds, last touched by Sierra Huddleston. Sims was looking for Paige Gieske. It was 26-16 when Allie Hernandez hit her three-pointer early in the second quarter. Now just a three-point game. So the ball is inbounded to the free throw line, and Caitlin Alward. Alward working against Smolt, loses the ball, gets it back, passes to Hernandez. Allie Hernandez fires underneath the hoop where it's deflected out of bounds, last touched by Paige Gieske. Hernandez's pass was tipped by Lindsay Cox, but it hit off the fingertips of Gieske before deflecting out the sideline. Quickly on the other end, it's Ashley Smolt rolling to the hoop and laying it in. It's a one-point game on Smolt's layup. Roosevelt calls timeout. Timeout called by Dion Thomas, the assistant coach for Roosevelt. Emily Ragsdale, in her first season leading the charge for Roosevelt, has ceded duties for one day to Dion Thomas, the first-year assistant. So far, so good for Dion Thomas's squad today. They are down by just 1 point. They're on a 9-0 run. They just snapped a long scoring drought, but St. Francis' drought much longer. It's been more than 6 minutes since they last got a point. Caitlin Alward had 8 points in the first quarter. She's gone ice cold here in the second, missing a couple of layups. Along with an air ball on a three-pointer, Jordan Pyle and Triana Acosta also had productive first quarters offensively. Pyle's been ineffective for much of the period, and Acosta's been on the bench with 2 fouls. Justine Charlesworth is in possession right now, passing off to the left side, Paige Gieske. Saints ball out of the timeout. It's Allie Hernandez for 3, a little bit short, and an over-the-back foul is called on Alward. That's her second. Caitlin Alward becomes the third St. Francis player to pick up her second foul. Acosta, McDaniel, and Alward are all in foul trouble late in this first half. And the Saints are in trouble offensively. They can't score. Smolt for the lead. No good on her jumper from the free throw line. Rebounded by Alward, who throws the outlet to Paige Gieske. Gieske slows it down. Waits for the rest of her teammates to join her across the timeline. Passed over to Justine Charlesworth. Top of the key, Alward dribbles off to the left wing. Up top, Leah Sims. Sims with 12 on the shot clock. Backs it up. Loose defense by Jay Cherie Cheers. Over to the right wing, it's Charlesworth. 6 seconds to shoot now. Sims, deep three. No good. Rebound goes to Ashley Smolt. Smolt pushes the pace across half court. Gets by Caitlin Alward, picked up by Charlesworth. And she backs it up outside the three-point line. From the right side, a drive on Smolt. Smolt up and short on the three-footer. Rebounded by Alward, but stripped immediately away by Cox, who lays it in and gives Roosevelt the lead. 11 straight points for the Lakers, and they are on top for the first time since it was 10-8. 27-26. St. Francis now nearly 8 minutes without a point. Paige Gieske looks around, drives from the right side, pulls up, needs help, bounces over to Caitlin Alward on the right wing. Hand off to Leah Sims. Sims spins down the lane, and she's fouled going up for the shot. Jay Cherie Cheers got a piece of her arm, and St. Francis now finally has a chance to snap their scoreless streak from the free throw line. First foul on Cheers. It's only the third on the team, but Sims was shooting on the play. So 2 free throws here for the St. Francis junior. Leah Sims, an 83% foul shooter this year, just 10 of 12. Make it 10 of 13 as she misses the first free throw. So this next one will be for the tie then. Minute 49 to play in the half. Caitlin Alward checks out. So all 3 players with 2 fouls are on the bench now as Jordan Pyle comes back in. Kaylin C.S. Cheney re-enters for Paige Gieske. We're tied at 27 as Sims hits on the free throw. That snaps an 8-minute drought for the Fighting Saints. And it also ends an 11-0 Roosevelt run. Here's Tania White inside. White backs out, passes up top to Riddle. Swung to the left wing. Drive from Cheers. Cheers up over Charlesworth. No good. Rebounded by Pyle. Saints are very fortunate still be tied in this game. Roosevelt's offense hasn't really gotten going during St. Francis's struggles as Sims passes deflected but chased down by Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Here's Jordan Pyle up top to Leah Sims, now left wing C.S. Cheney. 11 seconds on the shot clock as Sims receives the pass on the right wing. Flat-footed shot is good. Three-pointer for Leah Sims. It wasn't a flat-footed shot, I shouldn't say that. She left her feet on the ground as she took it. Riddle does not. McQuaisha Riddle drives all the way in and lays it up and in for a two-pointer. Roosevelt back within one. That three-pointer for Leah Sims ended a run of nearly 9 minutes without a basket for St. Francis, and now Justine Charlesworth adds another quick one. All three buckets for the Saints this quarter have been threes. First points of the night for Justine Charlesworth. Now Lindsay Cox is fouled on a drive. It's on the floor. Roosevelt will have an inbounds play. Goes against Kaylin C.S. Cheney. That's her second. So now 4 different Saints have picked up 2 fouls. With 32 seconds remaining, Kaylin C.S. Cheney stays in. She doesn't get as many minutes as the other 3. The ball is kicked by Leah Sims. Steve Brooks is not as worrisome about keeping Kaylin C.S. Cheney in there with 2 fouls. Bounce down low. This is Huddleston working against Pyle. She passes outside to Cheers. Jay-Cherie Cheers on the drive, banks it home. Nice drive by Jay-Cherie Cheers. It's a 1-point game, make it a 2-point game, 33-31 Saints. Leah Sims drive. Sims on the runner off the glass, gets the roll and one. Leah Sims has come to life here late in the second quarter. Saints went on an 8-minute run without scoring, but now over the last minute 40, Sims has connected already for 6 points with a chance to make it 7 right here. She's at the free throw line. And she hits. 7 points in the last 2 minutes of the half for Leah Sims. Jay-Cherie Cheers quickly on the other end, misses, rebounded by Sims, and she'll dribble out the clock. It's halftime in Joliet. St. Francis leads 36-31. The Saints led the majority of the first half, but they went 8 minutes without scoring, during which time Roosevelt clawed their way back into the game. They were down by 10, ended up taking a 1-point lead, but St. Francis ends the half on a 10-4 run of their own. So the lead is back to 5 with 20 minutes still to play in the game. We'll take a break here, back in about 15 minutes after halftime to bring you the second half of basketball. St. Francis ahead by 5. We're just about a minute away from the start of the second half here at the Sullivan Center. St. Francis leads Roosevelt by a 36-31 score. Saints were up big early in this one. They led 23-16 at the end of one quarter and hit a three-pointer on their first possession of the second quarter. So they were up by 10, but they then went 8 minutes without scoring. Roosevelt stormed back. They took a 1-point lead. St. Francis got hot again at the end of the half thanks to Leah Sims. Sims scored all of her 7 first-half points in the final minute and 49 seconds. Caitlin Elwood led the team in scoring with 8 points in the first half. She also had 7 rebounds, so she's already closing in on a double-double. As for Roosevelt, 8 points for Ashley Smolt on 4 of 9 shooting. They've also gotten 7 from Jay Cherie Cheers and 6 from Lindsay Cox. Their leading rebounder is Sierra Huddleston with 4 of them. Big key for the Saints, they shot the ball extremely well in the first quarter, 9 of 14. Then in the second, just 4 of 17. So that's obviously something they want to get cleaned up, get back to their first quarter ways. Neither team was terrible as far as turning the ball over. 6 committed by Roosevelt, 7 by St. Francis, but the Lakers did a much better job converting off of turnovers, outscoring St. Francis 11-6 off of turnovers. So here we go, start of the fourth quarter. St. Francis leads by 5 with the ball. They flip sides going from left to right. Another big key from the first half, foul trouble. Saints had 4 players pick up 2 of them. They're all back on the floor right now as Jordan Pyle drives and lays it in. Quick start to the second half for the Fighting Saints. The lead is back up to 7 at 38-31. They're on a 12-4 run going back to the last couple of minutes of the first half. Here's Ashley Smolt. Guarded by Jordan Pyle. Smolt crosses over to the left, throws it off the leg of Leah Sims. It's taken away by the Saints. Here comes Caitlin Elwood. Nice move to get around Cheers, and Elwood lays it in. Elwood seemed to hit everything. In fact, I believe she did hit all of her shots. 3 of 3 in the first quarter. Went 0 of 4 shooting in the second quarter. Makes her first shot of the third. There's a miss from underneath from Huddleston. Gets her own rebound and misses again. Back-to-back misses for Sierra Huddleston, and now the Saints have a chance to really take over this game. They've already scored the first 4 points of the second half. Paige Gieske takes it back to the midcourt circle. 15 on the shot clock. It's passed over to Caitlin Elwood. Elwood surveys the scene, now fires to a cutting Gieske. Down into the corner, Shadrian McDaniel, drive and a foul. McDaniel going up for the shot, hacked by number 4, Lindsay Cox. And Shadrian McDaniel will get 2 free throws. First foul on Cox. Mentioned all the foul trouble the Saints had in the first half. McDaniel was one of those players. She sat for the last 15-plus minutes of the first half because of the foul situation. So it's good to see her back out there and contributing now very quickly in the second half as she makes her first free throw for her first point of the game. Caitlin Elwood also had 2 fouls in the first half, did Acosta and C.S. Cheney. McDaniel misses the second free throw. It's an offensive rebound. McDaniel nearly lost the ball back, but the Saints hold on, 13 to shoot. Leah Sims over to Paige Gieske. Back to Sims with 7 to shoot. Sims drives from the left into the corner. McDaniel for 3. Comes up short, rebounded by Cox. 10-point lead for St. Francis. It matches their largest of the game. They've scored the first 5 points of the second half. And there's a bump and a foul that's going to send Lindsay Cox to the free throw line. We just saw Shadrian McDaniel make 1 of 2 free throws. Free throws have been a problem for St. Francis today. Coming in, it was Roosevelt, who was a big albatross at the free throw line. They had shot just 57% for the season compared to 74% as a team for St. Francis. Free throws have been in the plus column for Roosevelt today, though, at least as far as percentage is concerned, as Cox makes the first here. The Lakers have gone 6 of 8 from the line. St. Francis is just 6 of 11. Second shot good for Cox. She makes them both. 41 to 33. That's 8 points for Lindsay Cox, who checks out. McQuaisha Riddle is in. The foul on the other end was picked up by Paige Gieske. It's her second, so there are now 5 Saints with 2 fouls. Not as big a concern now that we are in the second half. Caitlin Elwood receives the pass down low, misses on the layup, rebounded by Riddle. Good pass that time from Shadrian McDaniel. Allward just couldn't quite finish. Cheers goes all the way to the rim. She's blocked by the bottom of that rim. No good on her layup attempt. Cheers just 3 of 12 shooting in the ball game. There's Jordan Pyle walking into the top of the key. Pyle drive from the left side, kicks into the corner. Wide open shooter Leah Sims in and out on the 3. Rebound tracked down by Ashley Smolt. Smolt walks it across half court with 7.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Passed over to McQuaisha Riddle. Riddle drives, pull up, short range jumper blocked by Paige Gieske. McDaniel comes away with it. McDaniel streaking down the floor, kicks it to the right side. Leah Sims steps back, looks inside, and Caitlin Allward is fouled. Sims was trying to get the pass to Allward in the post, and Caitlin was hit from behind by Sierra Huddleston. Second foul on Huddleston, second on Roosevelt, and it's going to be an out-of-bounds play for the Fighting Saints. Jordan Pyle inbounds to Shadrian McDaniel, right back to Pyle. Down low, McDaniel working against Jordan Fierce. To reverse layup, no. Rebound tap to Ashley Smolt. Smolt leads the charge for the Lakers. Stepping back outside the three-point line. She's in a trap. And we got a timeout called by Roosevelt. 6:59 to play. Third quarter, 41-33. St. Francis has the lead, 32nd timeout. Ashley Smolt was in some trouble there, nowhere to go. And so she elected to call a timeout, or perhaps the bench elected to call that timeout. Dion Thomas, the assistant coach, filling in as the headman today for Emily Ragsdale. His team has kept it close. They have certainly picked up the pace in this game, and they've kept St. Francis on their toes, though they have never led by more than 2 points at any stage. They've not let St. Francis run away with it either. They've got some scorers on this team. Both Lindsey Cox and Jay-Cherie Cheers are averaging 16 points or better. Actually, Cheers is at 15.9 points. Cox, who has not played in every game this year, is averaging better than 20. She's played in 12 of the 15, started 9 times coming in. We've got a 3-second violation on Roosevelt. Right out of the timeout, not able to get anything going. 3-second violation and a turnover. Saints ball up by 8. Paige Gieske holds on the right side. Up top to Jordan Pyle. Now to the left wing, Leah Sims. Into the corner, Shadrian McDaniel. McDaniel surveys, now bounces out. Gieske on the right, looking down low for Allward, didn't have her, and Pyle throws it away. Looking for Leah Sims in the corner. She overthrew her and out of bounds. Back-to-back turnovers, 1 for each side. Then Roosevelt gets the ball back, trailing by 8, as Andriana Acosta checks in for Jordan Pyle. Acosta didn't play much in the first half. She picked up 2 fouls shortly after entering the game. Managed to stay in only 4 minutes, but in those 4 minutes she had 5 points and a steal. We'll see if she's able to get going here in the second half as Roosevelt's pass is tipped out of bounds. It stays the Lakers, 21 on the shot clock. They're along the baseline. The inbounder is McQuaisha Riddle. Riddle's pass deflected by Acosta, right back out. And they'll do it again from the same spot. 1 second did run off the clock during that deflection. Ashley Smolt checks in for McQuaisha Riddle. This time it's Lindsey Cox inbounding. She gets it into Cheers. Jay-Cherie Cheers driving on Gieske, loses the handle, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Gieske. Big size advantage for the athletic 6-footer Paige Gieske. Jay-Cherie Cheers, 5'5" senior guard, trying to drive on her, and Gieske's provided problems for Cheers all day. And Cheers throws the ball away, intercepted by Caitlin Allward. Allward ahead to Gieske. She is fouled, trying for the layup. Cheers just didn't see Caitlin Allward at all right there. Passed it right into the St. Francis forward's waiting hands. Alward sent it ahead for Gieske, and Gieske not quite able to finish on the other end, but she gets herself to the line where she misses the first free throw. Free throws continue to be a problem for St. Francis. Paige Gieske this season an 85% shooter, but she misses one and makes the second. Leah Sims is better than 80% from the line. She missed one earlier. Caitlin Alward, 77% entering. She's missed 2 free throws today. Ashley Smolt from the right elbow knocks down the jumper. 42-35. 5:45 to play in the third quarter. Leah Sims down to the corner for Caitlin Alward. Back outside Sims, down low McDaniel. McDaniel backs in, throws underneath the hoop. Acosta's there for the lay-in. Nice find from McDaniel, a good finish for Acosta. 9-point lead for the Saints, and Sims comes up with a steal. Lobbed ahead for McDaniel. McDaniel layup good. 11-point lead for the Saints, their biggest so far. First field goal of the night for Shadrian McDaniel. It came off the Leah Sims steal, and now a double dribble. Tania White just lost her concentration and loses the handle on the ball. Gives it away to St. Francis, and now the Fighting Saints are really starting to take over. The bench starting to come to life for the Fighting Saints. Got some wrestling going on under the hoop, and a foul called against Roosevelt. It's on Tania White. White and Shadrian McDaniel got locked up underneath the hoop, and White was called for the foul. She's taken out. There's a little taunting back and forth between White and McDaniel there, as well as Gieske hits on the shot and draws the foul. St. Francis is asserting their authority here in the third quarter. They have dominated this period of play, outscoring Roosevelt so far 12-4, and a chance to make that 13-4 as Gieske makes the free throw. This was nip and tuck for a long time. Saints starting to pull away. Lindsay Cox gives it to Smolt down low. Smolt loses it out of bounds off of Acosta, I believe. Last touch by St. Francis in any case. 4:49 on the clock. 14-point lead for the Fighting Saints. Lindsay Cox to inbound. Leah Sims tries to get the steal, but not quite able to keep it in bounds. Good anticipation by Sims. Not able to walk the tightrope of the baseline there, so it's another inbounds play for Roosevelt. Lindsay Cox up top to Jay-Cherie Cheers. Cheers, pull-up jumper. Off the side iron, rebound by Fierce, put back no, and Caitlin Alward comes down with the board. Tough defense again by St. Francis, and now the Saints try to extend what has already become a 14-point lead. Leah Sims on the left side, up top to Gieske. Acosta on the left wing. Cross court, Shadrian McDaniel, 10 on the shot clock. McDaniel drives on Lindsay Cox, kicks it out to Alward for 3. Alward hits the 3. 13 points for Caitlin Alward. The lead is 17. And a timeout is called by Roosevelt. 52-35, 4:04 to play, third quarter. St. Francis went on that long scoring drought back in the second quarter. Roosevelt came from 10 points behind to take the lead, but since that point, St. Francis has outscored Roosevelt 26-8. And that includes so far this half, 16-4. Caitlin Alward hit the three-pointer just moments ago, and that's her first 3 of the game. She's got a game-high 13 points. Alward entered play today, leading the conference in scoring at 20.1 points per game. She averaged 29 points, 29.7 actually, over 3 games last week. She was named the National Player of the Week. Also for the third time this season, the CCAC Player of the Week, and that typically comes with a National Player of the Week award. You can assume that she was also the best in the conference. She was Not shooting the ball as well today as we became accustomed to seeing her last week, but had a big three just moments ago. First player in double figures for St. Francis. Ashley Smolt leads Roosevelt right now with 10 points. Their leading scorer, Lindsay Cox, hasn't really gotten going. She's got 8 points, not a bad total, but she came in averaging 20.3 per game. More actually than Alward. Doesn't quite get credit for leading the conference because she did miss some time earlier in the year. As Ashley Smolt out of the timeout, steps right up to the three-point line, misses on a jumper, and a loose ball foul is called on Roosevelt. I highly doubt that was the play that Deion Thomas drew up during the timeout. Smolt, without passing, just steps right into a three-pointer immediately out of the break. It's not the shot that they were looking for right there. Smolt has shot the ball well overall today, but not a good three-point shooter. Was not in rhythm as she shot that one. Alward misses on the first free throw. Struggling from the line tonight. She's just 2 of 5, but she makes the second. 14 points for Caitlin Alward. 18-point lead for St. Francis. Here's Smolt. Kicking it outside to Huddleston. Now to Nia White. White gives it off to Smolt. Step in from the free throw line. Short on the jumper. Rebounded by Alward. Roosevelt searching for answers offensively here in the second half. Still just 4 points since intermission. McDaniel lobs it in for Alward. Double team. Spins out of it and lays it in. Two defenders. They didn't close the gap as Leah Sims comes away with the steal. Always impressive when you're double teamed and somehow you still find your way to an open layup. And now another layup for Alward. This one misses. Offensive rebound back to Leah Sims. Sims stole the inbounds pass to keep this possession alive for St. Francis. And now an offensive rebound gives them yet another chance. Already ahead by 20. Leah Sims for three. Rolls around halfway down. Didn't go, but another offensive board. And Adriana Acosta is fouled going up. Lindsay Cox called for her third foul. It's the team's fifth, and Acosta's going to get 2 free throws with 2:55 on the clock for the third quarter. Offensive rebounds this possession have provided extra life for St. Francis on a 13-0 run. First free throw is good. 8 points for Acosta. And she misses on the second free throw. Down in the corner, Lindsay Cox runs into Acosta, pulls back outside. Now cross court, this is Cheers. Cheers kicks it out to the right. Lindsay Cox stepped on the line. Second time tonight we've seen a Laker in possession of the ball just step unforced on the sideline. Some of the errors made by the Lakers have been troubling for Deion Thomas, just because St. Francis, especially here in the second half, playing a really good game, forcing the Lakers into a lot of mistakes. Roosevelt can't afford the unforced errors, but they've suffered several of them. Leah Sims into the corner for Ali Hernandez. Three ball is good. That's 3 of those tonight for Ali Hernandez. She's got 9 points. 24-point lead for the Saints. They're on a 17-0 run. Lindsay Cox fires it to Huddleston. Huddleston is fouled. Sierra Huddleston is headed to the free throw line. 2:07 to play, third quarter. Third foul committed by Acosta. And the first free throw for Huddleston misses. Long drought here for Roosevelt. Finally a chance to snap that drought from the line. And Huddleston does. The lead for St. Francis is 23. Sierra Huddleston has 6 points. Leah Sims able to break that light pressure. Get it across to Paige Gieske. Over to Hernandez. Bounce down low for Alward. Alward locked up in a fight with Huddleston, and Sierra Huddleston's called for the foul. Alward's going to get 2 free throws.
Sierra Huddleston, her
4th foul on Huddleston. Alward right back to the line. Saints are in the bonus for the rest of this third quarter. Huddleston checks out. Jordan Fierst, the junior from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, is back in. First free throw misses short. Alward continues to struggle from the line. Just hasn't had one of her better nights shooting, and still she's at 16 points to lead everybody. She makes the second free throw. Maybe not as dominant in today's game as she was throughout last week when she won the National Player of the Week, but she's quietly asserting herself. Shears throws it away. She got caught up in the air, had to do something with the ball, tried a desperation pass to Jordan Fierst, but couldn't connect with her. Another Roosevelt turnover. Here comes Leah Sims walking it to the right side. Sims crosses over across half court, over to Paige Gieske. Gieske to Hernandez, right wing. Hernandez has knocked down 3 3-pointers today. Leah Sims to Allie Hernandez, 8 on the shot clock. Hernandez tried to bounce it down low for Acosta. Overthrew her though. It's intercepted on the back end by Roosevelt. Lindsey Cox puts the ball behind her back, drives, lays it up and in.
Lindsey Cox.
Good drive there from Lindsey Cox. Maybe the best play we've seen from her today. She's got 10 points. Final minute of the third quarter. This is Adriana Acosta. Down low, Caitlin Alward. Alward spins down low into a double team, kicks it out to Hernandez. Quick three, in for Allie Hernandez. 4th made 3-pointer of the game for Allie Hernandez. She's 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. On the other end, bounced inside. Moore misses on the layup. Rebounded by the Saints. 12 points for the senior guard, Allie Hernandez. Saints lead is 25, and they'll take the last possession of the third quarter here. Leah Sims takes her time. 10 seconds now. Sims starts to make her move to the left. Backs it up, guarded by Cheers. Sims, step back, thought about the 3 instead, into Alward. Alward forces one up and can't get it close to the hoop as time runs out in the third quarter. 63-38. St. Francis came out of halftime leading by 5. They go into the fourth quarter after a dominant period of hoops. They lead by 25. One more quarter to play. And I have it for you in just a minute. St. Francis led 36-31 at halftime. They ran away in the third quarter, outscoring Roosevelt 27-7. Fighting Saints entered play today on a 12-game winning streak against NAIA competition. Ranked number 8 in the country, Roosevelt entered at 3 wins to 14 losses. But it looked like a coin flip kind of game for the first 20 minutes. And St. Francis showed Roosevelt who they really are in the third quarter, and we'll see if they can put that same type of effort together for another 10 minutes and put this team away. If the Lakers want to make a run, they're going to have to do it right about now. They're starting to run out of time. This is McQuaisha Riddle passing it off to Tania White. White lost the handle on it, had to dribble it all the way back towards the sideline, but able to keep it alive. By Riddle out of bounds, she was looking underneath the hoop for Jordan Fierst. Overshot her. Out of bounds, St. Francis ball. Up by 25. Here's Ali Hernandez. Up top to Paige Gieske. Gieske fires down low for Alward. Perfect position and an easy layup.
Caitlin Alward from Gieske.
19 points for Alward. Paige Gieske gets the assist. The lead is 27. Lindsay Cox fires a three-pointer. Too strong. Rebounded by Cheers. Back up with it. Around the rim. No good. Fierce. Third opportunity is good. Jordan Fierce does her first 2 points of the game. Comes after back-to-back offensive rebounds for the Lakers. Leah Sims. Up to the top of the key for Caitlin Alward. Alward dribbles right, now back to her left side. She passes to Ali Hernandez and gets it right back. Three-point attempt. Off the side iron. Rebounded by Acosta. Offensive board for Acosta keeps the possession alive. Paige Gieske into the corner for Hernandez. Open three, air ball. She was 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. That was the most wide open look she's had all game and a bad miss. Leah Sims tries to come away with a steal. She knocks it out of bounds. Shadrian McDaniel in for Sims for the Fighting Saints, who lead by 25 with 8:25 to play in the game. Smolt pulls up at the free throw line, kicks it outside to Nia White. Three ball. No. Rebounded by Alward. St. Francis won 7 consecutive games against Roosevelt before a 1-point loss last January in Chicago. Paige Gieske for three, no good. Rebounded by Roosevelt. Long run in for Cheers. Cheers gives it up to Riddle, and Riddle is fouled, taking a shot. After winning 7 in a row, St. Francis is trying to start a new winning streak against their conference rivals today. 9-7, or 9-6 rather, all time against Roosevelt in a series that goes back to 2011. Timeout is called by St. Francis. Full timeout with 7:52 to play in the fourth quarter. Fighting Saints lead the Lakers of Roosevelt 65-40. As we look at the CCAC and the way it shapes up right now, St. Francis is tied with St. Xavier at the top of the conference at 9-0. Indiana South Bend and Olivet Nazarene are both 8-1. All 4 of those teams ranked somewhere in the top 25. And everybody else in conference is 5-4 or worse. So really, you look at 5th place all the way down to about 10th place. It's a big jumble. Could be anybody's game, but the top 4 teams have really established themselves as the 4 teams to beat. And unfortunately, those other 3 squads, St. Xavier, Indiana South Bend, and Olivet Nazarene, none of them are coming to Joliet this year. So we will not see any of those big showdowns between St. Francis and any of their closest competitors in the conference, but they will see all 3 of those teams on the road. They have not seen any of them yet, and it's going to be a little while until it happens, not until the end of January. After today, St. Francis's next game is here at home on Saturday against Judson, 0-15 on the season, including 1 loss against the Fighting Saints earlier in the year. St. Francis took them out on the road 81-28. This game was very much in doubt for a while. It's not over yet. Right now, the St. Francis appears to be on their way to their 13th straight NAIA victory as McQuaisha Riddle hits the first free throw. So they could be putting themselves in really good position for 14 in a row, going up against a team they've already beaten by more than 50 points. Roosevelt makes both shots from the line, 23-point game, 7 on the board now for Riddle. Ali Hernandez hands it off to Jordan Pyle. Pyle kicks it outside, Shadrian McDaniel. Lob down low for Alward. Alward against a double team, dribbles outside and picks it up. Now she needs help, finds Acosta on the bounce. Along the baseline, Acosta kicks it out towards Jordan Pyle, and she's fouled. Acosta was fouled on the drive prior to the pass. Just the second foul on Roosevelt this quarter. It's going to be an inbounds play. Actually, just the first foul of the quarter on Roosevelt. Quasia Riddle picks up her second. Into McDaniel. McDaniel gives it up to Jordan Pyle. Down low, Aylward. Aylward off the glass and in. 21 for Caitlin Aylward. The conference leader in scoring has hit her average once again today. At least 20 points for Caitlin Aylward now in 4 consecutive games. 5 of her last 6. White bounces to the foul line and Moore. Moore kicks it out to Riddle. Riddle drives and is bumped by Jordan Pyle. Pyle has whistled for her first foul of the night.
Her first, team second.
It's only the second on St. Francis with 6:57 to play. Lindsay Cox will be the trigger man on this inbounds play. Into Ashley Smolt. Smolt drives in, pulls up from 7 feet out and gets a friendly roll. Nice shot by Ashley Smolt. She's now got 12 points in the game. That's tops on the Lakers. Caitlin Aylward over to Jordan Pyle on the right wing. Pyle looks down low. Instead, she drives, kicks it outside. Good ball movement. Extra pass to McDaniel, who misses on the 3. Offensive rebound for Shadrian McDaniel, and she's fouled. McDaniel got her own rebound after it was tipped out by Jordan Pyle. On the ensuing drive, she was hit, and she's at the line for 2 shots. Shadrian McDaniel has 3 points today as she makes the first free throw. 2 of 3 from the line in the game. Second shot is good. Lacey Gardner comes in for Caitlin Aylward. Justine Charlesworth is in for Shadrian McDaniel. So 6.5 minutes to go. Steve Brooks is starting to pull his starters. It's a 24-point game. Both McDaniel and Aylward certainly could come back in, but I'm sure unless Roosevelt goes on a run here, Steve Brooks would prefer that he not need to bring them back. Tamia White back outside, over to the right side, deflected by Ali Hernandez. Smolt sticks with it though. Over to Cheers. Lindsay Cox, right wing 3, well short. Charlesworth lets it go, out of bounds. Saints ball. Jordan Pyle can't handle the inbounds play, lost out of bounds, Roosevelt ball. The Lakers were pressing. It was not an aggressive press though. Pyle just sort of tripped and fell as the pass came in. Deflected off of her hands and out of bounds. So a break for Roosevelt. Jordan Pyle trying to make sure that spot on the floor isn't too wet. They go off and grab a towel, so they will wipe it down. 69-44. Fighting Saints lead. They were up by just 5 at halftime, but outscored Roosevelt by 20 in the third quarter. And they've been coasting through this fourth quarter ever since. Ashley Smolt down to the corner for Cox. Cox drives the baseline, backs it out, gives it up to Smolt. Smolt over to the right side. Jay Cherie Cheers, pull up from the baseline, short. Rebounded by Gardner. And Gardner giving it up to Ali Hernandez, who's called for the travel. Back-to-back turnovers committed by St. Francis. First Jordan Pyle fell down, and now Ali Hernandez loses her steps. Here's Smolt. Smolt step back 3. That's short. Smolt just a 24% free throw shooter. For somebody who doesn't shoot at that high percentage, he's taken a number of threes today that were not in rhythm. Jordan Pyle over to Acosta. Acosta dribbles from the left all the way down the lane into the corner. Gardner for 3. That misses short. Rebound chased down by Smolt. Smolt's quickly double teamed, throws it off of Pyle's foot and out of bounds. Just over 5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Ali Hernandez checks out. And Kaylin C.S. Cheney is back in. C.S. Cheney gave the Saints a nice spark off the bench late in the first half. She scored 2 points just before the buzzer that led into halftime. She'll be playing the point presumably the rest of the way today. Lacey Gardner is called for a foul, coming in from behind Sierra Huddleston. That's the third team foul. It's the first on Gardner. Cox to inbound. Finds Smolt. Back up to Cox. Kicked out to Smolt, 14 to shoot. There's a drive into some traffic. She throws one up, and it's wild. Wanted a foul called, didn't get it. Jordan Pyle lobs it low, looking for Gardner, overthrew her. Acosta tried to save it, but right to Roosevelt. Now Smolt. 1 on 3, and a foul is called as Jordan Pyle got her. Jordan Pyle does not like the call. Ashley Smolt, though, is going to the free throw line. Second foul on Jordan Pyle. It's the fourth on the team. Smolt makes the first free throw, 13 points for her. Second shot rims out. Offensive rebound, though. Jay-Cherie Cheers puts it back up and misses, rebounded by Pyle. Saints ball up by 24. Jordan Pyle to the cutting Acosta. Acosta draws the contact and hits the shot. Nice drive from Acosta. And now an opportunity to make this a three-point play. Follows the second on Jay-Cherie Cheers. Third team foul. Free throw is good. It's 11 points for Andriana Acosta. That's the most she has scored in any game since December the 17th. Long jumper misses from Riddle. Saints grab the rebound. Kaylin C.S. Cheney up top to Charlesworth. Over to Jordan Pyle. She tries the three. No good. Battle for the rebound. Won by Jay-Cherie Cheers. Cheers hurries down the floor. Bounces it ahead for more, and the ball is loose. Picked up by Acosta. It was 2 on 3. Cheers tried to thread the needle, but lost it in her sewing kit. I don't know if that makes any sense. Cheers gets a steal here, jumping in front of Justine Charlesworth. Now Cheers again, a little bit out of control, but she knocks down the runner anyway. First time that Cheers has scored in a while. She's had a nightmarish evening shooting the basketball, but she's up to 9 points. And a timeout is called by Steve Brooks to get a sub in. Josie Graffio on for Jordan Pyle. And now I believe we will get Maria Cruz Uceda into the game as well. So Andriana Acosta sits down. 11 points for Acosta today. Just 1 off of her season high. Just the 4th time this year she scored in double digits. Laquacia Riddle is called for the foul. Jumping in front and into Josie Graffio. 4th team foul, so Roosevelt's at their limit. Check that 3rd team foul. Roosevelt calls timeout with 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. 72-47. St. Francis has the lead. Been an interesting game. Each quarter has seemed to have its own unique identity. First quarter, the Saints were hot offensively, especially the second half of that quarter, as they jumped out to a 23-16 lead. Second quarter, St. Francis went ice cold. Roosevelt came back to take the lead. The Saints, though, did go into halftime up by 5. The third quarter was all Saints. They jumped down the throats of the Lakers. They outscored them by 20 in the period, and they essentially put the game away. It was a 25-point game at the start of the 4th quarter, and this 4th quarter has been kind of a choppy affair. 72-47, St. Francis has the lead. but we haven't seen a lot of flow to the period so far. It's been fouls, it's been turnovers. It's been all in all pretty even, exactly even on the scoreboard since the start of the fourth. Roosevelt back on the floor. St. Francis joins them. 5 subs in the ball game right now for the Fighting Saints. Charlesworth, C.S. Cheney, Gardner, Cruz, Uceda, and Graffio, who's got the ball. Josie Graffio gives it up to Kalen C.S. Cheney. C.S. Cheney down to the corner, 3-point attempt. Charlesworth rattles it home. Charlesworth has 6 points. St. Francis is up to 75. And Lacey Gardner rips the ball away from Ariana Moore. A steal for the Fighting Saints. Kalen C.S. Cheney over to Lacey Gardner. Gardner down low for Cruz Uceda, deflected away from her. Stolen by Roosevelt. Here's Cheers. Cheers into 2 defenders, throws it up and draws the foul. Good drive from Jay Cherie Cheers. Goes on Kalen C.S. Cheney, her third. A few more subs come on for the Saints as Gardner and Charlesworth check out. Steve Brooks clears his bench. Everybody's seen action now as Rexisha Hollis and Hannah Swiatek are in. All active players have been on the floor at some point now for the Fighting Saints as the first free throw goes for Cheers. She's got 10 points. And now 11. Swiatek, freshman from Mother McCauley High School, throws it away. Swiatek played at Mother McCauley last year. Keisha Newell was the head coach for this Roosevelt team last year. Much more successful season last year for Roosevelt, and Newell left the program to coach at Mother McCauley. So the 3-pointer falls for Cheers, who all of a sudden is getting hot here in the fourth quarter. She's up to 14 points. Keisha Newell going over to Mother McCauley meant that Roosevelt hired first-year head coach Emily Ragsdale. Deion Thomas coaching in her stead today as the ball is knocked out of bounds by Sierra Huddleston. Still belongs to the Saints. Graffio, 6 to shoot. C.S. Cheney. Crossover to the left side. C.S. Cheney drives by one defender and lays it in. Similar to the shot she made at the first half buzzer. Kalen C.S. Cheney has her second field goal of the game, 4 points for the sophomore guard. There's a block from Maria Cruz Uceda, but a foul is called. She knocked the ball out of the hands of Sierra Huddleston. 77-52 St. Francis, timeout called by the Fighting Saints with 1 minute and 16 seconds to go. It's a full timeout. Saints do appear to be on their way to their 7th straight win overall, 13th in NAIA play. They would improve their record to 15-3, 10-0 in conference. Nothing but conference play from here on out. And the Saints are in the midst of a stretch right now of 3 out of 4 here at the Sullivan Center. Saturday afternoon, they take on Judson at 1 o'clock. On the following Saturday, same time, they'll see Trinity Christian with a road trip to St. Ambrose coming up next Wednesday, January 15th. This was not an easy one all the way for the Saints. It never figures to be in these conference games, but Roosevelt did come in at 3-14. And the Lakers, for the first half, certainly did not look like a team that had given up on the season with that record. It's a young squad. They're getting better as the season progresses. And today they fought hard for a half. They continued to fight hard in the second half, but the fight wasn't enough. St. Francis was able to pull away. Huddleston will get 2 free throws. Ariana Moore comes in. Jay Cherie Cheers checks out. Carlene Jones is in for Roosevelt as well. First time we've seen Jones today. So the Lakers have now used up everyone at their disposal. As the first free throw misses. Second one misses as well. Leo Cruz Uceda comes down with the rebound. Actually, one more player Roosevelt has not used, Daphne Turner. She's the only player on either team that has not yet entered this game. Here's Swiatek over to C.S. Chaney. Into the corner, Graffio for three, no good. Rebound goes to Roosevelt. There's a steal from Swiatek. Jumped in front of a pass at midcourt. Swiatek drives in, misses on the layup. Battle for the rebound. Tipped around. Graffio has it. Up, no. Battle for the rebound once again. This time won by the Lakers. It's Ariana Moore who comes away with it. And we roll down to the final 30 seconds of the game. Timeout called by Roosevelt for some substitutions. They want to make sure to get Daphne Turner into the game, so Turner comes on for Sierra Huddleston. And now both teams have used up all of their players. 31 seconds on the clock. Then Roosevelt will resume their final possession. Quasia Riddle passes it off to her right. Ariana Moore is trapped by Rexisha Hollis and Kaylin C.S. Chaney. We've got a tie-up. Possession arrow goes to St. Francis, and that should do it. With 20 seconds to play, the Fighting Saints can just dribble out the clock, and Roosevelt will let them if they want to do that. They do not put any pressure on Kaylin C.S. Chaney. She walks it across half court. Clock down to 10 seconds, and the Saints are in no hurry to run some offense. C.S. Chaney will dribble out the remainder of the clock, and our final score will go down as St. Francis 77, Roosevelt 52. A very impressive second half for St. Francis today, particularly that third quarter. They took a 5-point lead at halftime and turned it into a 25-point lead by the end of the third. And that was enough to coast to the victory, as Roosevelt was not really able to get the offense untracked in the second half. They played well for a little while in this one, particularly defensively, as they held St. Francis at 1 point scoreless for nearly 8 minutes. But the Saints, once they got going again, really caught fire and cruised to a relatively easy victory, 77-52, once again the final score. Kaylin Elwood was the leading scorer with 21 points. The Saints improved to 15-3 with the win. They are now a perfect 10 for 10 in conference play. Roosevelt falls to 3-15. They drop to 2-8 in the CCAC. This is the only meeting between these two teams this year, unless they see each other again in the conference tournament. St. Francis will be next up on Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m. They take on the Judson Eagles right here at the Sullivan Center. Before heading back out on the road, they'll go out to Iowa to take on St. Ambrose a week from today. But the Saints are flying high now, 13 consecutive NAIA wins, 7 straight victories overall, and they'll carry that streak into Saturday afternoon's tilt with Judson. Today our final score, Fighting Saints 77, Lakers 52. That's going to do it for our broadcast. Remember to stick around, because coming up next we've got men's basketball. St. Francis against Roosevelt kicks off at 8 o'clock, or 7 o'clock rather. 7 o'clock tonight. Saints and Roosevelt, the men's chapter. So stick with us for that, and if not, I'm sure you'll see us again on Saturday when the St. Francis women take on Judson at 1. Again, Saints victorious today by 25. That'll do it. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully we'll see you again for the men's action starting at 7 o'clock.